So we've looked at two ways, Roger, in which the past can negatively impact our hope for the future. Let's talk about something positive. Let's talk about what do we do with our past then? How can we use our past in a way that fuels our hope?
Yeah. The past is very important. I'm not talking about the past failures and all that kind of stuff that we may have experienced pain in. But the Bible tells us that the psalmists will often recall the great things that God has done in their past.
Yeah.
As spurs to shoot them onto their future.
Yeah. Really good.
And that's what we do. That's what Habakkuk does, because he says in chapter 3, he says, Lord, I've heard of your fame.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be happening now, but I've heard of all the things you've done in the past.
Yeah.
And they're not causing me bitterness, but they're thinking, come on.
Yeah, do it again.
Do it again.
Yeah, yeah.
And you'll have that verse in Lamentations.
In Lamentations, yeah. You've got it here as well. Yeah, this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope.
I have hope.
In calling things to mind from the past.
That's right.
We can literally, that is a means by which we can fuel
And that's
hope.
what you do. And Psalm 136 is a classic where it goes through, Lord, you did this, and you did this. And all of them are saying, yeah, come on, you did it again.
Yeah.
And that's what we can use our past, the great things that God has done in our life.
Yeah.
The time we got healed, or the time we saw him do a miracle, or the time he turned up, or the time he brought us through the valley, or whenever. We think, wow, Lord,
Yeah.
you did it. Or you did it for Dave.
Yeah.
And you can do it for me. So we're feeding off God's history,
Yeah.
God's great acts. And sometimes we'll say, hey, do you remember, we're facing something, do you remember what he did for Dave? Wow. Well, he's the same God.
Yeah.
And that what he did for you in the past kicks me into my future.
Yeah.
So we feed off of God's history with us.
Yeah.
And use it to propel us into the future.
Because he's the God of not just our past and our
Yeah.
and our future. He's always the same.
And that's why it's good to remember
Yeah.
what the Lord has done for us. And of course, the longer we're saved, the more we have to remember. help us to write things down. So we're not despising the past and never talk about
very
the
good.
past, but we're not living in it, but thanking God for it. And it's used to spur us into our future hope.